You're watching F5. We are here at Red Hat Summit 2025 in Boston. I'm actually at the CDW booth. I'm joined by two guests, I guess you could say. First one, Tim, I'll get you to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tim Way. I'm a delivery engineer with CDW, senior consulting engineer. My day-to-day is to implement solutions like Hope.
Awesome. Okay, can you introduce Hope, I guess?
Yeah, so Hope is our AI avatar. What's interesting to me about Hope is she's just another application on the network.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So we're going to talk about the architecture of Hope. Now, I had a conversation with Jonathan. He talked about taking an idea and turning it into reality.
Yeah.
Really what that means is he gave you an idea and you turned it into reality, perhaps. So maybe we can even start from scratch. Like, to build up something like this, are you a developer? Like, were you actually coding? What languages were you in?
So I am not a developer by day. So mostly my focus is on automation and infrastructure.
Okay.
So for Hope, for me, is once the application code is written, we're looking for a place to run it.
Okay.
So that it can get on the network and start to receive requests.
Gotcha.
So that's where the process started. So for Hope here, we're running her on OpenShift in our on-premise data center.
Okay, sounds good. So from a container perspective, is it one container? Is it a number of services that you're pulling in?
A number of services that runs in OpenShift using the normal service framework. And then to kind of bring it to the next level of how do we get in and access Hope, because here we are at Red Hat Summit, and she is running in the on-premise data center. So we make her available through OpenShift's router feature.
Okay.
So everything comes in from the internet, into OpenShift, and then onto the application stack.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
And through that, the connections, so in talking with Jonathan, there's a front end and a back end to this. And so you're handling, like, is there security in between that you're worried about? Or are you more worried about, say, the front end of it, or how does that work?
Yeah, really throughout. Right,
Okay.
so you want front end and back end. You want to make sure that it supports authentication, and that's both in the application and in the features and functionality in front of it. Right, so certain products like from F5 can offer that security layer in front to alleviate some of that burden from our application developers. So that can be in play. The other item that I think about personally a lot is availability. So it's great to have Hope running in our data center on premise, but we want to make sure that Hope stays running. If we need to shut down that equipment, or unfortunately a disaster comes through, something of that nature. And that's really where I see the next step for a lot of companies is, I have an application, how do I make it globally available?
Yeah, awesome. As part of that, the front end of that, is that more or less outside? Like, can you access Hope via API, or is it you would access the same back end via API if you wanted a different front end from Hope?
Oh, sure. So you could put another avatar and connect it to the same back end. So Hope is analogous, at least to me, from a front end.
Yeah.
So she talks to an API in the back end over the internet for us, and that is exposed, so everybody can access it. So yeah, to your point, it would be fairly easy to put, say, Tim the avatar right here, and have me talk to a similar back end. So I would not sound like, but respond like Hope does.
Interesting. Okay, cool. And as far as the front end, like, does Hope herself have an LLM aspect to her, or is that handled on the back end?
I would point to Jonathan for that a little bit more, but there is a bit of local model here running with Hope on the display system here, and then there is a separate system running in the back end, and that's where we're running more processing as well.
Okay, gotcha. So maybe there's a little bit of language that's turning into a REST API call.
So speech to text, and then vice versa when it comes out. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. And it's running. What is it running on locally here?
So it actually is today running through Azure. So it's using Azure's speech to text.
Oh, okay.
So Hope turns the stuff we speak into a microphone there into text, and then she does that through Azure API, or an Azure API, and then that returns to her. She sends that to the back end. The back end then responds with the reply to whatever the prompt was in text as well, and then we use that kind of same API call to turn that text back into speech. And that's what she's actually speaking.
And that actually goes really fast.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive, because I mean, everybody looks at like tokens per second on this stuff, and so you're adding an extra layer of tokens that are having to run through to do the speech to text. and then
network
translate
latency
that.
and yeah.
Wow, so that's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Very cool. What's next for Hope, or the entire system?
Yeah.
I don't know if you call the entire system Hope,
Yeah,
or
that's a
just
good
the front
question.
end to it. But is there plans to, say, different front ends,
Yeah.
or maybe different ways that you expose data to your partners using this model?
Yeah, I think really what's interesting to me is we can continue to feed her with any information. So whether that's more information about our consulting services, which I do, I would find that very valuable. On the more technical side, I think the next step for us is to improve her availability. I think that creates an interesting story. For CDW, Hope kind of serves two roles. She's here at the conference to help us talk about AI applications and availability and what we can do in the OpenShift and F5 space, but she's also here to talk about how we do services. So we'll see what it turns into.
Pretty cool. I mean, maybe there will be other versions of Hope that'll be more Tim-like, or perhaps, but we don't want to.
Or a Jonathan Hope.
Yeah, we don't want to go too far down that road, perhaps.
Yeah.
Get a little bit dark on us here. Well, thank you very much,
thank
Tim.
you.
Super cool architecture. If you want to check this out, ask the CDW folks. I'm sure they'll be able to bring Hope around or connect you to Hope. Otherwise, make sure you like, follow, subscribe, follow along, and otherwise we'll see you on the next one. Bye, folks.